to wait to see if Jacinta would set a personal best, because he ran a personal best in the first round, 54 seconds. So she is also leading them of the semi-finals on the time, and we hope she can push and get the gold medal for Team Aqua. Also, we have Kung Fu, we have squash also at the final stage. So we feel that gold has to come out from those events. Overall, I feel the conditions haven't been favorable. We have to return it to ourselves. We would have done better. There's been a lot of investment from the commissioner, from the governor, in terms of the team trying to put things in place, preparation. But then when you get to a place that it's a culture shock for the kids, and some of them are even telling, say, look, this is the first time of traveling outside the shores of Akwa Ibom. The culture shock alone, everything is very different. And I pray this competition doesn't hold in Delta again next year, because it's going to be a massive. Then we have to say the kids have adapted very well. Those that started early, some have fallen sick, and a lot of issues. But then I feel, for me, it has been a successful competition so far, and we hope to win more medals and get at least in the top 3, top 4, top 5 in terms of the competition ranking.
All right, Phil, just 30 seconds. Still sticking with you before I hear from Academy Kufra, before I get a close. 30 seconds now. The sports festival, Youth Sports Festival, is in Akwa Ibom, is set to start. The torch moving different local government, and it could be a breeding ground for some of these athletes to be found out and be given opportunity for the next National Youth Festival. You've talked about Delta hosting it. Where's the place of Team Akwa Ibom also hosting a tournament like this?
Yeah, it's possible. We hosted the NDDC game, so I feel we can also host the rest of the country. So if we can host those in the Niger Delta, we can host the rest. It was even more of a competition that had to do with elderly people. How about youth? We have the facilities, we have everything in place to put in a bid and host the youth games, and it would be a massive growth, a massive improvement, and a lot of boys and girls will get themselves involved in those watching. A lot of people don't know that kids who watch games might find it, their love will be there, the interest will be there to go and participate. For the state's own, it's a welcome development. It hasn't happened for a very long time, and it will be a breeding ground to produce the next superstar for the state.
Okay, Academy Kufre, one talking point. Dan, before we let you go, would now be put side by side. You've seen the performance of a lad. You've seen them, the festival, the torch moving all around. If you want to talk about the possibilities of Team Akwa Ibom hosting it, but from your end, what could be the biggest challenges in terms of development of this young talent in Akwa Ibom, and put that side by side? What next for the kids? One thing is to have these kids perform at this level, and the next one, what next? The living school going to Asaba, for example, to participate, they're also training, but we've not really heard a pocket of these kids probably going even further after now. What next for them?
I'll still stay of the tournament. We are the future. If the government can invest this much, and even for the youth festival in the state, I think Paul Bassi and his team are quite right to know to do kids to be developed, which is, like I said before, you just need to motivate them. You need to build on the foundation that is there already. You have seen some of this talent, like those guys in weightlifting. You keep them, and then tomorrow we will know that Didi Omofia will not be alone. Even in our international game, winning goal for Nigeria in main category, there will be others like this Good News and the rest of them joining. So what we need to do is that don't allow corruption setting. Don't allow a coach walk away with a funding that is meant for the athletes. Don't allow any administrator walk away with the funding that is meant for the coaches, and don't allow somebody get substandard facilities for the trainers, for the sport. So once we do this, we are sure that we are going to make these kids truly the future. And coming down home, the governor has set up structures, even academies. We need to do that. I remember last administration setting up the kind structure that we have in West Etam, saying that's going to be in the 10 federal constituencies. We can go into look at this. What are the challenges that we have with these facilities? Can we make it better? Can we make it solid so that we can surely say that yes, our investment in sport is worth it.
All right, Akanimo. Yes, we can. To that. Thank you very much for being a part of the show, Akanimo. And Mr. If you're great, thank you. So good to have the two of you be part of it and discuss on all the talking points you've talked about. Thank you very much. Well, the conversation continues even further, and what we're going to talk about next would be football stories. But before going to football stories, at the handball level here, Team Nigeria's under 18 coaches confident of World Cup qualification. And at the Youth Games, it was Aquatics Federation that scouts swimmers at Youth Games. And all these mixes, we're talking about scouting processes. Well, guys, I know you have a lot to contribute, but you get to talk about football stories trend. So quickly, let's move to the football stories around the world. We'll see how we can make do with the next 5 minutes in this. Well, the World Cup qualifiers is taking place in Africa, and most of the teams are ready for it. Cameroonian side have landed at Ghana side have landed at Chad in preparation for the game. Similarly, with the Cameroonian side and Nigerian side, we have a full house of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, beefing up strength in readiness for Rwanda and South Africa games. Well, many fans have been asking questions about the tickets. We hear that NFF has announced that the ticket prices for the Super Eagles game against the Amavubi would be for the VIP 3,000 naira, and for the regular tickets 1,000 naira. So looking at updates in the world of football, Taiwo Wuniye, Nigerian player who plays his club football for Nottingham Forest, he has been dropped by Nottingham Forest in the Europa League squad. Well, to me, David, not surprising to see this happen anyway. Taiwo Wuniye not being part of the Europa League, surprising for you?
No, not surprising for me, because already he's down the pecking order. Not even the second or the third choice striker at Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest during the summer amassed a whole lot of attacking players. So we're talking about no regular game time now for of course, the man Taiwo Wuniye. I will also looking at, of course, where next for him, because you can't afford to be staying on the bench for that long till January. I mean, we talk about match rustiness, struggling to, come back to momentum after a long spell of injuries last season. So it's a whole lot complicated for Taiwo Wuniye at the moment. And I just felt that he would have actually left Nottingham Forest before that particular summer window was, slam shut. But at the moment, maybe got to explore options in Turkey since we still have the window open. Yeah. At least play regular football and then return back to your best.
Quite a sad story for Taiwo Wuniye in that regard. We'll move forward and talk about the Flying Eagles of Nigeria. As the coach has said, on the 20 World Cup target, what could be the target for them for?
Well, I think it's just about moving to the World Cup and also doing better. We've always been talking about the World Cup or the under-20 lads. We saw them at the under-20 AFCON team.
They never won the World Cup before.
Exactly. So I think it's going to be maybe trying to surpass what they did the last time.
Yeah,
I think we should quarterfinals. So definitely doing better than that.
Losing to Korea Republic.
Exactly.
Well, is that conversation for the Flying Eagles of Nigeria. And Victor Oko Boniface, well, it trended yesterday on social media. He was speaking on failed AC Milan move as he joined Werder Bremen. Remember the conversation we had on TV about him and on radio too. Well, he was asked about his time on social media, and the man also said, well, he doesn't really want that players have a way of relieving themselves, and because the life of a footballer, and even mentioned what you talked about in 4010 where he said, well, players are unlike other players that go all out. They go to events, not on social media, but they're going out. He's not a going out type. And the other conversation even mentioned about how he told he was streaming live and he was to go for medicals. And he told the fans that were watching that he's going for a wedding. He couldn't tell them he was going for the medical. It failed anyway. But it's that conversation for him. We can only wish him the best of luck and the best of fortune at Werder Bremen. And moving on, we hear that Chelsea misses out on 22-man Champions League squad. Well, Utuma, I get to talk to you on this now. Chelsea, in recent times, we've seen that this particular season, he's gotten some more chances than before with Liverpool. Missing out of the 22-man squad, surprising.
Well, I think it's surprising for me because, first of all, they've actually sold, Javier Lloyd now into another Premier League team. And I'm looking at who deputized for Mo Salah in Europe. They included Rion Gumoha, the youngster who scored against Newcastle in that squad, and then excluding Federico Chiesa. Well, I'm also looking at options now because they've got Isak, they've got Hugo Ekitike, they've got Godi Kakpo.
So Isak has come to forget about Chiesa.
Chiesa, but unfortunately, he was about leaving, Liverpool this particular summer. Yeah. So after scoring that goal, that first goal of the Premier League season against Bournemouth, it totally changed everything. And the man said, no, I want to start Liverpool. Now that he has been excluded, maybe you'd have, of course, a rethink by January.
Well, it seemed not fair for the player because it seemed like he's beginning to build gradual momentum, but the chance, well, he still got a chance to play in the Premier League and all
Yeah,
the games.
not European game. And every player wants to play in Europe.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Jesus and Tels are notable absentees in the Champions League squad. Not surprising in this one, Jesus missing.
No, definitely the man is out injured due to that surgery, so definitely not going to be part of the Arsenal squad who has, and they have Gyökeres already, and they have a lot of attacking options. No Madwick in that mix as well. So I think it's deserving for Gabriel Jesus. He has to come back to full fitness before he can think of going to Europe.
Well, it has to come back to full fitness before he thinks of going to Europe. We hear that Dalman is in line for Champions League football. Something interesting. Meanwhile, Manchester United are exploring post a deadline transfer for Malaysia. Donnarumma says he will improve to fit Pep Manchester City style. While West Ham fan group issue vote of no confidence against board. Well, just take one for the take one as we close. Check that of West Ham and vote of no confidence against the board. Well, does it change anything?
I think it's just I think it's a clear case of how West Ham United have been poor in recent times.
Absolutely.
Couple of the fact that they've changed managers in recent times and not also being able to amass some quality players to the side this season. So I think the fans have actually spoken in displeasure about the operation of West Ham's hierarchy in recent times. Maybe these particular outcry could also change something positive for them.
Something positive for them. Funny thing, Malaysia, it seems like it's time for him to leave the side.
Well, the man has been labelled part of the bomb squad by Ruben Amorim, so definitely has to leave the side. And I think he's a surplus to requirement, but he's not earning much, so not really going to affect United on the wage books. But they want to shake the man, and they just want him to go out of the club. So that's what's going to happen.
Quite sad for Malaysia. Lots of injuries for him, and it's not really worked out for him since joining the Manchester United outfit. And Donnarumma in Manchester City, he wants to learn the style of Pep. It's that conversation. But here we have a style. We're letting no style. Thank you guys for being a part of it. Absolutely fantastic.
A pleasure.
And well, fantastic too. Big thanks to Ifyoka and Kanamako for the joys of conversation. But we draw the curtains here on today's Sports Central. Thank you for being a part of it. A big thank you to everyone that made it happen. Thank you and ciao, ciao.